claim to be prophets and can see everybody's business but their own are false prophets.
Can I speak this right quick? Can I speak one sentence that'll help you? Ye that are without sin, cast the first stone.
I would have been swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing?
And I cannot forget the way that he made me cry many nights when I drove in his cars on the way home, not able to take enough showers to wipe the smell of him off of my body.
He had princes in there. He also had a couple of preachers in there. Why would a religious man like himself be at a party which ain't nothing but sin that's going on, bro?
TD is considered one of the most influential preachers globally, so it's possible Jake feels pressured to disclose information about his own colleague.
I would have been swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing?
Imagine the astonishment if he starts revealing a secret society of pastors, rumored to lead private lives that contradict their public teachings.
Can I speak this right quick? Can I speak one sentence that'll help you? Ye that are without sin, cast the first stone.
Is Jake feeling pressured to come clean about these spiritual leaders who have secretly influenced young artists in a world where secrets can only stay hidden for so long? Could he finally be exposing his fellow conspirators?
But when your sin goes public,
Come on.
when your sin goes public, people act like they have none.
Who are these preachers? Let's start with Ed Long, who was once a close friend of the esteemed bishop. For those unfamiliar, Long was a preacher whose reputation was marred by allegations of sexual misconduct involving young men in his congregation.
I cannot get the sound of his voice out of my head, and I cannot forget the smell of his cologne, and I cannot forget the way that he made me cry many nights when I drove in his cars on the way home.
When TD's name began circulating in connection with Diddy's infamous parties, few wanted to believe the rumors. Meanwhile, Ed Long, once a close associate, had served as the senior pastor of New Birth Missionary Baptist since 1987, overseeing its remarkable growth from 300 members to 25,000. Under his leadership, New Birth became one of the largest congregations in the country, with satellite churches in places like Miami, Denver, and Charlotte, as well as TV broadcasts and foreign missions. Long was not only a preacher but also a Christian author and gospel singer, known for advocating the prosperity gospel, which promises financial rewards to the faithful. His luxurious lifestyle was widely noted. He owned a $1.4 million home with 6 bedrooms and 9 bathrooms, traveled globally in a private jet, and drove a $350,000 Bentley around Metro Atlanta. His church's influence extended beyond its 10,000-seat cathedral, hosting figures like then-President George W. Bush and former Presidents Bill Clinton, Jimmy Carter, and George H. W. Bush at Coretta Scott King's 2006 funeral. However, controversy erupted in 2010 when 4 young men filed lawsuits against Long, accusing him of sexual misconduct. One claimed to have been 17 at the time, while the others were over 18. They alleged that Long encouraged them to join the church's prestigious youth organization and provided them with homes, cars, money, and lavish trips in exchange for intimate favors.
I cannot forget the way that he made me cry many nights when I drove in his cars on the way home, not able to take enough showers to wipe the smell of him off of my body.
Ironically, Long's strong denouncements of homosexuality stood in stark contrast to the allegations made against him by 4 young men. Like many conservative African-American pastors, he openly opposed LGBTQ rights, organized conferences for reorientation, and led marches advocating for a constitutional definition of marriage as between a man and a woman. His case was reminiscent of Ted Haggard, another megachurch preacher who condemned homosexuality yet faced scandal in 2006 after admitting to a sexual encounter with a man. Next up is Juanita Bynum, a well-known prophetess whose powerful teachings and spiritual conferences have also been surrounded by controversy. Although she has denied any connection to recent scandals, her past issues have led some to speculate about a potential link to Diddy's infamous parties. Bynum once commented on T.D. Jakes' controversies, advising people to keep their mouths shut amid his alleged misconduct. During a New Year's Eve service at her church in Norcross, Georgia, she briefly addressed the issue, speaking of compassion and restraint. "I don't discuss preachers. I don't speak about anyone because I don't know who might eventually need to help me," she said. "I wasn't there, and I don't know." Later, she suggested that some of the rumors may have originated from people who were not even present during the incidents, advising listeners to mind your business. She seemed to support the leader of the Potter's House Church, adding, "If I get a phone call, I'm running. Okay, I'ma leave that alone because this ain't no New Year's Eve message. I'm heading directly to Texas." Bynum closed by referencing John 8-7, saying, "Let he who is without sin cast the first stone," to show her neutrality on the allegations against other religious figures.
Dr. Bynum, what is your opinion about Bishop Jakes? Ye that is without sin, cast the first stone.
These recent revelations suggest that Bynum's fall from grace may be imminent, despite her rapid rise in the religious world. Her association with Diddy is the least of her concerns amid a financial scandal involving more than $1.7 million that vanished from two nonprofit organizations she managed. Bynum is now entangled in a web of financial controversy, with the mysterious disappearance of annual surpluses raising serious questions about accountability and transparency within her ministries. A closer examination of the financial records reveals troubling inconsistencies. Between 2016 and 2021, surpluses totaling over $1.7 million were curiously omitted from reported assets, leaving significant gaps in her financial disclosures. Although efforts were made in 2022 to address this by including surpluses as assets, the unresolved issue of missing funds from previous years continues to cast doubt.
I want to make this intensive. You can go to www.juanitabynum.com. I want to make this intensive to the point that when you come out,
the IRS may soon investigate these nonprofit organizations under Bynum's control in response to growing scrutiny and mistrust. With the authority to scrutinize financial transactions in detail, this investigation could uncover instances of financial mismanagement or even embezzlement, potentially leading to legal consequences. However, Bynum's financial troubles are only one piece of a much larger, contentious story. Her personal life has seen a fair share of highs and lows, including allegations of lavish spending, accusations of spousal abuse, and legal run-ins. Her extravagant 2002 wedding to Bishop Thomas W. Weeks III, which reportedly cost $1.2 million, made headlines. But just 5 years later, Bynum accused Weeks of domestic abuse, shattering the idealized image of her marriage and prompting her loyal followers to reevaluate their admiration. The once fairytale relationship took a grim turn, and Weeks capitalized on the attention by releasing a book titled What Love Taught Me, which some saw as a cash grab. The book included a cover photo from their lavish wedding day, and one chapter, pointedly titled She Wanted to Be the Next Oprah at Any Cost, provided insight into the couple's ambitions. The drama extended into the courtroom when Weeks, after pleading guilty to an undisclosed felony, was sentenced to 3 years of probation and community service. This publicized court case tarnished both of their reputations, leading Bynum to step back from the limelight as her marriage and legal battles became a source of controversy. During this period of self-reflection, Bynum opened up about her struggles with substance abuse and turbulent relationships, including those with both men and women. These revelations surprised many of her followers, challenging their perceptions of her as a morally upstanding and spiritually powerful figure. Despite these personal struggles, Bynum continued to connect with her audience through public events and social media, maintaining her engagement with her fans amid the controversies.
these people will point their weapon. These people will tell the devil, if you don't shut up, I'm going to get my weapon.
As Bynum urged her followers to plant a seed into her ministry, promising financial and spiritual rewards, her message became increasingly entangled with money. One bold appeal involved requesting six-figure donations to build a prayer space she called the threshing floor. Critics viewed this as yet another example of her opportunistic fundraising tactics. When she founded the International Prayer Institute, her pursuit of financial gain escalated even further. The institute marketed costly courses on prayer techniques, offering promises of deeper spiritual connections and heavenly rewards for members willing to pay the high prices. Despite criticism over the exorbitant fees, Bynum defended her perceived value and worth. Financial mismanagement also plagued her ministry. In 2007, her $4.5 million Georgia property faced foreclosure due to unpaid property taxes. Though she claimed the estate was intended for ministry use, tax authorities were unmoved and threatened to auction the property if payments weren't made. Bynum's troubles extended beyond finances. She shocked audiences when she spoke candidly about her past, admitting to drug use and relationships with both men and women. During a radio interview, she openly stated, "I've been there and done it all. I've taken drugs, and I've had relationships with both men and women." The startled host cut her off, asking incredulously if she was serious, to which she replied, "I lived it. I suffered from abuse. I was drawn to people like me." Another name frequently associated with similar controversies is Pastor Creflo Dollar, who has also faced criticism for his opulent lifestyle and fundraising methods. Together, these figures have become controversial symbols in the religious community, raising questions about the intersections of faith, wealth, and personal redemption.
The teachings that I've shared in times past on the subject of tithing were not correct.
Let's take a closer look at Creflo Dollar, a pastor who preaches prosperity yet lives a lavish lifestyle with million-dollar homes, private jets, and luxury cars. But beneath the polished exterior lies a darker side. In 2012, Dollar was arrested on charges of allegedly assaulting his own daughter, striking and choking her during an argument. Her elder sister supported the claim, even calling 911. This is the same man who guides others on leading moral lives, yet was accused of using force on his own child. Although he completed anger management courses and the charges were later dismissed, the incident exposed a side of Dollar that doesn't align with his pristine, godly image. Dollar's name has also been loosely associated with rumors involving Diddy's elite parties, infamous for alleged exploitation and manipulation. Given his past, some speculate on his presence on such guest lists, especially considering the unsettling nature of these allegations in Hollywood. And yet, even with the controversies surrounding Dollar and others, T.D. Jakes remains a central, stirring figure in Christian circles. One of the most prominent and influential voices in modern Christianity, Jakes has built a global megachurch empire, inspiring millions with his powerful sermons. His influence and reach make him a significant figure, whose impact is unmatched even amid the controversies and scandals that have cast shadows on his peers.
I would have been swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing?